say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
Good evening and welcome to The Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, and mostly television, well, you've come to the right place. I say mostly television, but you know what? Tonight may be the exception because, well, if you've noticed, we're on a different channel. We're over on my Retro Music Memories channel. And the topic tonight, although some folks may think it's a little too darn early for me to broach the topic, we're going to do it anyway because I love holiday music. And quite frankly, once we get past Halloween and all that spooky stuff, well, you know what? I like listening to the holiday music. It just, for me, holiday music takes me back to a simpler time, much like the shows that I enjoy watching on television, and they put my mind at ease. They help me relax. So anyway, we're going to talk about holiday music tonight, and I'm hoping that I can get you all engaged in a great conversation around that. It's just me tonight, folks. No esteemed guests other than each one of you, and you are all very special. So it's great to have you here. And thank you so much for making the arduous journey over from the main channel, Dave Sundstrom, to Retro Music Memories this evening for this live stream. There's 11 of you right now. And you know, the beauty of, I love having large audiences for the live stream, but the nice thing about having a slightly smaller audience is it's easier to keep track of the stream. So let me welcome folks here. Kenneth, you indeed were the first one in the stream. Thanks so much for getting the chat going. Truly appreciated. Great to have you here. Lance Chaffin was here as well. It's awesome. Let's see who else was in the chat early on. Good conversation between Kenneth and Lance as I scroll through. Justin, aka Braidwood Inn, is asking, why can't I find this stream anywhere? Well, like I said, it's at a different home tonight, and I was hoping that at least a good portion of you would find it. Let's see. Looks like there's some conversation around favorite Christmas songs. We'll get to that in a bit, but let me continue to welcome people before we do that. McGanahan Sky Jelly Fetty says, I didn't think he was going to do one tonight. No, I was planning on doing it. I posted a message in my community section yesterday letting folks know that it would be hosted over here on the Retro Music Memories channel. It just made sense given the conversation that I want to have, the topic being holiday music. So good to have you here, McGanahan Sky Jelly Fetty. Always a treat. Let's see who else is in the stream. We got Tom, my friend, says, also known as the Hungry Jerk, says, hi guys, just came back from comic book shopping. Interesting. You know what? I can't afford comic books anymore. They're just too darn expensive. So I'd be interested in knowing. Let's see. Tom says he picked up a couple of issues of Retro Fan magazine. Hey, that P.O. box is getting closer and closer, Tom. I'm looking forward to checking that out. Thank you so much. And let's see. McGanahan says that I scared him with the Jenny Lee Harrison video. Didn't mean to do that. I didn't say anything about her dying. I guess it's just darn scary whenever I post a video these days and title it Remembering Whatever. But I would be delighted if I didn't do any more sad videos about someone passing on, even though I will say this. The last video I did about Gavin O'Herlihy, I really think, you know what? Those videos, while it's sad to see folks leave us, those videos are great because it really, to me, it's a celebration of one's life. You know, the career of Gavin's was, don't think a lot of people know just how much, how extensive it was. And he was so much more than just Richie Cunningham's older brother, Chuck. Let's see what else we got here. There was another comment. Oh, Justin says, did you see his brother's video on Stacy Keenan? So he's referring to my brother, Steve, who just recently posted a video on Stacy Keenan. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Stacy was on a couple of shows in the early to mid 80s that were quite popular. The first one being My Two Dads with Paul Reiser and Greg Evigan on NBC, and then the second one being a little later on in the decade in Step by Step, part of TGIF Fridays on ABC. With that show had Suzanne Summers and Patrick Duffy in the mixed marriage, hybrid family type story, kind of similar to the Brady Bunch, really. All right, who else is here? John Collins is here. Good to have you with us. Cindy D is in the house. Always a treat to have you here, Cindy. Al Oduwardi is with us. Welcome. And Al says, nip it in the bud. Love it when a plan comes together. He's referring to the opening title sequence for the live stream. Spike Spikerson is with us. And Spike and Tom and I think Justin has popped in. Thanks to all of you who have been joining me for my GSTV transmissions over on the Good Stuff TV channel. They're so much fun for me to put together. I really love it. Basically, it's some of them are my videos that I've already uploaded to YouTube. Others, parts of GSTV, which stands for Good Stuff Television. It's just a potpourri of videos, memories from, the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. The best of television in my mind. So thanks for joining me over there. Braidwood Inn says, Justin says, we've got double digits. Yeah, we're all the way up to 14. That's not bad. Christopher Kraft, welcome. Good to have you with us as always, Christopher. And hey, Kimberly Wiederhold's here. Now, Kimberly mentioned in the comment section that it was far too early to be talking about holiday music. So I'm sorry, Kimberly. I really am, but I'm going to do it. I got to do it. I'm already listening to Christmas music in the Sundstrom home. So I would be interested in knowing one of these days what you did actually in the mall. You said you worked in the center court of the mall. So was it like a food court or a different store there? I worked retail for many years prior to actually starting my career that I did for almost 3 decades. But loved working in retail. Was a lot of fun as I was going through college. Marianne Lockwood, good to have you here as well. Thank you for waving at me. I shall wave back. Let's see. Who else is here? Marco Falzoni is here. Says 1984 was definitely a transitional year for entertainment. What a great year 84 was, without a doubt. Cindy D says, I work in retail. They started playing Christmas music before Halloween. So one of the things, I worked at Kmart. I know that Justin, who's Braidwood Inn in the chat, worked at Kmart as well. They have this kind of music that they used to play, and I loved it. And I remember distinctly that once Halloween passed, the Christmas music would start playing on the, through the speakers in the store. And like I said, I'm a fan. And it's good to hear that you are a fan as well. Let's see. Justin says, Dave, working at Kmart in the past, I got tired of the ones they played there. I was tired then. I'm not tired now, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see. Hi, Marco. Good to have you here. Georgia Ayers is here with us as well. Always a treat, Georgia. Thank you so much for all of your support and your engagement. And there's a lot of super fans from my other channel over here. Lance, Spike, John. I'm going to miss folks, so I'm not going to try to name everybody's name, but you all know who you are. Here's another super fan. Ian's here with us. Great to have you with us, Ian, this evening. Thank you for joining. Let's see who else is here. John Collins says, GSTV is an awesome invention which you've created, Dave. Everything you do is gold. Well, I don't know if it's that gold, but thank you for the kind words. And I love transmitting over on the Good Stuff TV channel an hour worth of programming every day. That's my goal. So you'll be notified on the main channel, on my Dave Sundstrom channel, as to when GSTV is going live. And I'll be transmitting for 60 minutes a day. And hopefully some of you can wander on over from that channel or catch it in the community posting in time to head on over to GSTV and joining me in the chat while we watch the programming that takes place during that hour. Let's see. I'm going to talk about favorite Christmas songs in just a minute. So some of you may need to repost your favorites. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's click on some of these right now. Lance says that his favorite Christmas song is Jingle Bell Rock, a good one. And Kimberly says favorite Christmas carol, What Child Is This? Oh, what a great song. What a great song. Cindy D says my favorite song is the choir song from Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas. I'll talk about that one a little bit more later. And Tom mentioned this during GSTV today. Favorite song is Nat King Cole's Take Me Back to Toyland. Great song. Marianne Lockwood says, my son loves Holly Jolly Christmas. My daughter likes Blue Christmas. Oh, a classic song. And the hubby likes Little Drummer Boy too. Great, great song. Cindy D mentions Charlie Brown Christmas, and Lance Chaffin mentions Deck the Halls. Oh, Kimberly says she worked at Fannie Mae. I don't think we had any of those out here in this neck of the wood. At least it doesn't ring a bell. Let's see. Georgia Ayers says, don't worry about talking about holiday music because she watches Christmas shows all year round. I will confess to having watched a Lifetime holiday movie, Christmas movie, in the middle of the summer this year. McGann Sky Jelly Fetty says, my favorite Christmas song was always Here Comes Santa Claus, but only if Elvis sang it. Dramatic pause while I swig down a little bit of that Diet Coke. Let's see what else we got. Kimberly says some Christmas movies are okay to watch year round. I agree. John Collins says, hey, Dave, I listened to Steve Perry's Christmas album. Oh, my, it is amazing. I can feel the fire and taste the marshmallows. What a wonderful voice he has. And there's some really fun interpretations of Christmas classics on that new album by Steve Perry. I might mention that again in a few minutes. Alo Ruardi says YouTube has a 13-hour-long set of Kmart Christmas tunes with blue light specials, etc. I have listened to some of those, Al. I just love it. You know, those videos, it's really typically just a still image, and then just someone has digitized the recordings that used to play in the store. Boy, oh boy, do they take me back. Lance says, hey, Dave, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes, indeed. It's a movie that takes place during Christmas, so while it doesn't have all of the Christmas tropes that I enjoy in a great Christmas movie, it has enough of them for me to categorize it as a Christmas movie. Marianne Lockwood says, I think the only Christmas song I dislike is Bruce Springsteen's Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I kind of like that. Braidwood Inn says, is Mariah Carey's Christmas song possibly the most overplayed song ever? I think it beats out Bing Crosby, White Christmas. It's also the best-selling Christmas song of all time. White Christmas held that for a long time, but Mariah Carey's is now on top. Let's see. John Collins says, I'm not quite sure if I understand the reference here, but yes, it is going to be everyday awesome here, my friend. Al Oduardi says, yesterday, no pun intended, was 42nd anniversary of Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time. That may come in handy later on when we do trivia. Let's see. Thomas says, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Hate it. I don't dislike it. It's okay. It's Christmas pop fluff. Cindy D says, This Christmas by Donny Hathaway, Wonderful Christmas Time by Wings, and Holly Jolly Christmas by Burl Ives. All great songs. Oh, Spike Spikerson, wonderful rock Christmas song. That one, Father Christmas, along with the Kinks, Father Christmas song as well. So good. Let's see. Georgia Ayers says, my favorite is Do You See What I See? And Kimberly Wiederholtz says, another favorite Christmas song is Santa's Prayer. Oh, Lance Chaffin mentions Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. And Al O'Duarty says Thurl and Burl, The Grinch, and Holly Jolly Christmas. And then Christopher Kraft says, my favorite Christmas song is Oh Holy Night. Kimberly Wiederholt says Christmas in July movies. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And let's see, Marianne Lockwood says, I love Burl Ives Silver and Gold, as does Al. And there's a smiley face from Marianne, so we'll keep moving. Cindy D says, I love Do You Imagine a King from The Preacher's Wife and Do You Hear What I Hear by Whitney Houston. I actually really enjoy The Preacher's Wife, both versions. The Denzel Whitney version and then the earlier version with Cary Grant is really, and David Niven is wonderful as well. Oh, Kenneth's taken off. Hey, get feeling better, Kenneth. Have a good night, buddy. Lethal Weapon is also a Christmas movie. I don't call that one as much as Die Hard, but I get where you're going again because of the time of year. Let's see. McGanahan says Die Hard is a movie for any time of the year. Well said. Well said. And let's see. Oh, Marianne Lockwood talks about Bowie and Crosby's Little Drummer Boy. What a wonderful song that is. What a wonderful duet. Perhaps my favorite Christmas duet right there. John Collins says, my favorite Christmas song is Mary Did You Know? I like that one too. And the irony of that song, if you understand the reference of the song, then you probably know that, of course, she did know. Kimberly Wiederholt says, my mama's favorite Christmas song was Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer. One of my favorites. Of course, I first heard that song on Dr. Demento, probably early 80s, so long ago. Let's see. More references to the Bishop's Wife here. The Bishop's Wife, correct. And then Braidwood Inn, Justin says Elmo and Patsy's B-side was actually called Christmas, I think. And then Skip Rock Jr., welcome. Good to have you in the stream with us. Says, I consider Naked Gun a baseball movie. Nice call. All right, so let me share a little bit of my favorites with you. You guys have all done a great job of sharing your favorites. I would start with, I'm going to go chronologically. The Christmas albums I remember growing up. And the very first one I remember is this one. Holiday Sing-Along with Mitch Miller. I don't know if any of your parents or if you guys had this album, but this was my go-to holiday album. I just love this thing. And one of the things that was really cool about these sing-along albums was they would come with inside with lyric sheets, but like 10 lyric sheets so that everybody could sing along with Mitch, hence the title of the album. And Mitch, by the way, had other sing-along albums that weren't holiday Christmas time related, but this one was my very favorite. And I think my favorite song in here, they're all so good, but there's one called Must Be Santa Claus. Great song, and really enjoyed it. And as I'm looking through the titles, just so many great memories I had with this album. Now, this was probably, my sister and I would listen to this album probably from 5 to 8 or 9 or 10. And then one Christmas, I got a record player and I got this album along with it, which was Snoopy's Christmas. And of course, it had the great song Snoopy's Christmas, as well as a bunch of other, songs that were standards, you would say. Some of them were classics, some of them were lesser known songs. This was, I believe, a Peter Pan Records recording. The group singing them was the Peppermint Candy Kids, not a well-known band all the way, of course, but still, it was a fun album, and I really enjoyed it, and I just loved the Snoopy's Christmas song. I played that over and over, probably when I was 10, 11, 12. As I got older, there is one album that became my go-to Christmas album. The album that to this day I would say is probably my favorite Christmas album, and that's this, A Charlie Brown Christmas. I love the music in here. Vince Guaraldi Trio, phenomenal recording. And it just really evokes the sounds of the season for me. It's just a really special album. And it's one that to this day I will, if a week goes by during this time of year that I don't listen to it, it just doesn't happen. I'm always listening to this thing. And then, of course, this year, there's a brand new Christmas album called The Season. It's by Steve Perry, he being the former lead singer of Journey. His voice is not what it once was, but it's still a great voice, and it's a more mature, a more seasoned, weathered voice now, but still a phenomenal, magical voice, and he does a wonderful job of really conveying the emotions of the season in the songs that he chooses for this album. So if you have a chance to listen to it, any of you with Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, music subscriptions, it's there. Go listen to it. It's a great recording. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. So there's my choices. Let me catch back up on the chat and see what folks have said since I shared mine. Let's see. Alo Duarte says, what year was the Mitch album put out? It was 60s, mid-60s, not sure the exact year. Lisa Fields is here. Great. Good to have you with us, Lisa Fields. And let's see. Cindy D says, I love Feed the World, or Do They Know It's Christmas by Bob Geldof. The band he assembled for that song was called Band-Aid. It was actually a song that I'm a huge Boomtown Rats fan. Bob Geldof is the lead singer of the Boomtown Rats. And he actually wrote the song with the intent of including it on a Boomtown Rats album, but then realized that he could do more good, since this song was meant to be a fundraiser, if he could get all of the British UK celebrities to sing the song with him. And so he actually wrote that song with a guy named Midge Ure, who's the lead singer for Ultravox. And they got Duran Duran, Boy George, U2, all the big bands of the time together and they became Band-Aid. And that's who actually recorded Do They Know It's Christmas. All right. And it's a great song. I love it. Let's see. Thomas says his old boss was Lionel Richie, and he wishes he had a Christmas song. I have a hard time believing that Lionel doesn't have one Christmas song out there. And you obviously have a story to tell at some point in the future about your old boss being Lionel Richie. I love that. Justin says, I like Same Old Lang Syne by Dan Fogelberg. Yeah, I love that song as well, too. I'm a big Dan Fogelberg fan. Let's see. The 80s did have it all. And Kimberly says, Merry Christmas, Straight to You by George Strait is nice. That's a great one. Cindy D, All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth. Fun children's holiday song. Oh, yeah. I'm glad someone mentioned the Chipmunks. They had some fun Christmas albums, or a Christmas album and some fun Christmas songs. Let's see. Tom says, a tradition. I listened to the Three Stooges Christmas album. I did not know they had a Christmas album. And McGann Sky Jellyfetti says that Peanuts was definitely groundbreaking. Let's see. Mary Ann Lockwood says, Lisa. This is directly to Lisa. Ironically, the Jackson 5 grew up Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, who don't celebrate Christmas. I should know since I grew up as one. Did they grow up or were they converted? I did know that they at one time were practicing Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm not sure if they still are. Lance Chaffin says, A Partridge in a Pear Tree. Great song. George Ayers says, anything with Snoopy. Snoopy is really super. Yes. Spike Spikerson says, I thought Steve Perry died, but I'm not Canadian, so what do I know? I don't know the Canadian reference, but no, he's still alive and kicking, my friend. In 2018, he put out his first album in over 20 years called Traces, a really wonderful album. And this is the follow-up, a holiday album called The Season. Yes, Bob Geldof and the Boomtown Rats, their biggest hit was a song called I Don't Like Mondays, and most people don't. Let's see. Kimberly Wiederholt says, I forgot the title, but one of my favorites was a Christmas album done by older singers such as Bing Crosby. There were a number of collection albums. I have a handful of them in my collection, and I say collection, I mean albums where it's a bunch of different singers all together. Just a collection of songs, and those are fun albums in and of themselves. But I do think I enjoy the ones that are either recorded by one musician, one singer, artist, or something like the Charlie Brown Christmas. Let's see. Lance Chaffin is turning 51 on December 10th. Everybody lock that into your noggins so that we remember to wish Lance a happy birthday in early December. And yes, Lance is just a youngster. You're right there, Tom. Let's see. Marianne says, I was around 20 before I got to enjoy Christmas. Apps. Christmas is a wonderful time. It's a time when, it obviously is a Christian holiday, but whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, I just think it's important to take this time of year to be close to the ones that you love, that are most special to you, and to really just be connected, right? That's what the holidays mean to me. That's what Christmas means to me. We're alive. Hey, Rob Aiken's in the house. Good to have you with us. Yeah, Holly Jolly Christmas is a fun song. Kimberly Wiederholt says, how about I'm getting nothing for Christmas because I ain't been there. That's a fun song, too. Another great one. Marianne says that the Jackson 5 mom converted when Michael was around 5 years old. Well, there's the answer to that question. Oh, yeah, Lisa, I remember this song by Billy Squier. Another great one. All right, let's see. Lots of good conversation here. A comment about the Fab Four, Hark, Rubber. Any Beatles fan might like the Fab Four, Hark, the Rubber Band. Also has a cool collection of Christmas tunes. Okay, I'm not a huge Beatles fan, so I'm kind of missing the references here. But thanks for sharing, Al. And McGanahan Sky Jellyfetty says, I've always loved Weird Al's Christmas at Ground Zero. I've always loved everything Weird Al's ever done. And let's see. Yeah, I Don't Like Mondays was about the Brenda Spencer, where she shot a bunch of kids in the schoolyard, and her excuse was that she didn't like Mondays. Very sad story. Home for Christmas by Daryl Hall and John Oates. Great musicians. And I haven't heard that album, so I'll have to look that one up because I really do enjoy Hall and Oates. Let's see. John Collins says, my earliest and best Christmas story when I was 10 in 1989. I remember getting my first VCR and all those wrestling videos. Also, I remember listening to all of the Christmas standards. That is Christmas. We all have these memories, right? These moments in time that stand out. And a lot of them do center around certain holidays, and Christmas is definitely one of them. Thanks for sharing, John. Let's see. Cindy D says, it's crazy how we sung those Christian Christmas tunes at school plays. Everything now is politically correct. You barely see that now. Yeah, it's one of those things where I still say Merry Christmas to folks. And, if someone who was Jewish or something said Happy Hanukkah to me, I would say Happy Hanukkah right back to them because I know how special it is to them. Same with Kwanzaa. Someone says Merry Kwanzaa to me, I'm going to say Merry Kwanzaa back to them because I'm recognizing that that's what the holidays are to them. I think we should still be able to say Merry Christmas. It's Christmas time for us. Now, if we're addressing a large group such as this, then, it's probably good to at times just refer to things as holidays because the holidays encompass all these special celebrations. Let's see. Oh, Mike D says, welcome, Mike D, by the way. My favorite Christmas CD is the Jose Feliciano one, Feliz Navidad. Great song. And one of the best-selling songs of all time. Let's see. Yeah, I knew what you're saying there, Mike. Don't worry about that. And Lisa Fields says, this is more conversation about being able to celebrate things like birthdays and Christmas since being raised, if you're being raised Jehovah's Witness, they don't celebrate those kind of holidays. Journey is not a Canadian band, Spike. Sorry, my friend. Yeah, never mind. Lisa Fields says, I got a Walkman and cassettes for Christmas. Zip was so happy. So one quick story, maybe I've shared this before, but I was, I think, a sophomore in high school when the Walkmans first came out and were very popular. And I talked my dad into getting one for me, but we couldn't afford the Walkman. It was a Chinese knockoff, and he got it at one of those fly-by-night, they would rent a building and they'd have a bunch of electronics that they'd sell around Christmas time, and then they'd be gone a month later. And he bought me a Walkman from there. It wasn't, like I said, a Sony Walkman, but it was a Walkman type cassette player. And I was so excited for it that I took it. I knew where they'd put it away for Christmas. And one night I took it out and started playing with it. And then I decided to take it to school the next day. This was before Christmas, and it quit working. And I was panicked. So I snuck it to a repair shop and spent like $20 and got it fixed in theory. And it never worked right. But I did get it back in the box, and I did feign surprise Christmas morning. And let that be a lesson to anyone that is considering playing with a Christmas item prior to the actual date. You shouldn't do it. Should not do it. I have an opinion on political correctness, which is I think trying to be kind and sensitive to other people's feelings is not a bad thing. But things can sometimes get out of control, and things can get out of hand. And, obviously, you can take things to extremes either way. Journey was a San Francisco band. It wasn't a flea market. It was one of those, it was in the newspaper, and it was said like, we're going to be here for 3 days. We're blowing out all these items. And then they would just be in this building for 3 days. It wasn't like a big flea market building, though. It would just be like, in a business kind of area, and then they'd be gone. You get the Sears knockoff Walkman. That was probably better quality than the one I got, Tom. Let's see. 40 was a great birthday to celebrate, without a doubt. If you're going to celebrate one, it ought to be 40. Al, I'm sorry. I've learned my lesson. John Collins says, that's interesting. We were in Walmart today, and they used to have what they would call their Christmas shop, but now they call it the Joy Shop. Yeah. I'm okay with that, if that's what they want to call it. Let's see. Being nice is nice, but don't force me to respect evil stuff. Well, hopefully no one's trying to respect you or force you to respect evil stuff, Spike. Let's see. Thomas says, I remember when people of different views got along without killing each other today. I remember that too. And I still think I am still optimistic and hopeful that we can do that. It requires tolerance and ability to see the perspective on both sides of the aisle. Let's see. Rob Aiken says, I think I still have a Walkman somewhere. And Kimberly says, I played with my brother's train set Christmas morning and stopped working. Was my dad ever mad? I'm sure he was just frustrated. And Tom says, I'm optimistic too. I'm glad. I think optimism is one of the ingredients in working our way through all this mess. Oh, yeah. What a great, it's not a song, but I love this too. Santa Claus and his old lady and the magic dust, and that's how he flies around the world. Good stuff. Thanks for reminding me of that one. Okay, I'm going to step away from the chat for a minute, and I'm going to take care of some commercial sponsors. Then we'll do a little trivia. All right, let's see what we got here. Hopefully I have uploaded the commercials. Can't remember if I did or not. Yes, I did. See y'all in just a couple minutes.
Monday, don't miss a Charlie Brown Christmas with all the Peanuts gang and everyone's favorite beagle, Snoopy.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown!
Then it's up to a kindly clockmaker and some clever mice to make sure Santa comes to town on 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Monday, right after Charlie Brown.
Wake up, toys, or you're gonna miss Christmas Eve with the Kodak disc. Someone got the family a Kodak disc. Just look at all shots they're not gonna miss. There's never been a time that's better than this to give someone the Kodak disc.
Give someone the Kodak disc camera this Christmas, and if they don't think it's the easiest camera they've ever used, Kodak will give you your money back. Money back.
So when you go out and shop, just remember to stop.
Shh, get someone the Kodak disc.
A Christmas gift from Radio Shack.
Before Christmas, they claimed they were bored. But then I found Radio Shack's incredible selection of electronic games. He's rescuing the fair maiden with the Kingman game. She's exploring dangerous new worlds with Zackman. And with the alien chase game, he can do space battle with an opponent or by himself. There are more gifts if anyone's bored. I
Fascinating electronic games from $7.95 to $59.95. Only at Radio Shack.
Season's greetings in our souls.
Yummy fruity pebbles in our bowls. Oh, here comes you-know-who. Yabba dabba fruit, delicious stew. Ho, 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 I'm hungry. Santa, my pebbles! Your pebbles? 'Tis the season to be sharing, Fred. Happy holidays, pal. Oh, Fred. Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereals, part of this nutritious breakfast. Ho, 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 ho.
All right, we are back. Couple more comments or questions before we move on to trivia. John Collins asked, Dave, did your parents love Christmas or did they just love it, but wanted it to be over because of all the hustle and bustle and having so many kids nagging them for half a year about wanting everything? I think they enjoyed Christmas. I think it might have been a combination of the two a little bit. I think for every parent, you want to do everything you can for your kids to make the holidays special, and you can't sometimes. You can't afford it, or there's a variety of things. So, yeah, a combination of the two, John. I grew up in a home with, there were 3 other children besides myself. My brother, Steve, you guys all know from 4 other live streams, and some of you have subscribed to his channel. We have 2 sisters, Valerie and Kelly, and Valerie is about 10 months younger than me, and Kelly was younger than Steve. And they both had cystic fibrosis and passed away. So after their passing, particularly once they were both gone, holidays became a little tough just because, family members are gone, and they left us early, and both of them in their early 20s. Let's see. There was another question I wanted to get to, or more of a comment. Georgia Ayers says, in my family, there are 6 kids, so my mother had each of us kids draw names. I always drew one of my brothers. He really enjoyed hunting, so I always got him ammunition. I always knew what it was. He always knew what it was. You know what? It's great when you know the gift to get someone. I think it's hard these days, at least it is for me sometimes, where I just don't know what to get someone. Ammunition, if that's what they like. It's wonderful that you knew exactly what to get him. Marianne asks, is Kmart still around? There's none here in Utah. I don't know if there are in other parts of the country, but if it is, there aren't many Kmart stores left anymore. Let's see. You know what? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you know what? Love my sisters. Wish they were around, but unfortunately, death is a part of life. So, let's move on to let's see. Cindy D says we got up early just on Christmas to open our gifts, and then we all went back to get bed. You know what? We did too. We got up super early, and then Mom and Dad would go and hit the sack, and we would play with our toys while they did that. Let's see. I think we're going to stop there with the chat. And I'll be keeping an eye on the chat while we do trivia. But let me bring on the trivia here. There we go. All right. I hope you guys are ready for action. This is holiday music trivia, and I'm so excited to do this with you. So let's get rocking and rolling and see how you all do. Question number 1. What brings Frosty the Snowman to life? Was it a magic button, a magic pipe, a magic scarf, or a magic hat? We'll give everybody about 10, 15 seconds to lock their answers in their head. Just kind of figure out which one you would go with. And if you want to share it in the chat, what you think the answer is, feel free to do so. Otherwise, just kind of, lock it in there, and I'll tell you the answer in just a second. Spike is asking if where's Magic Mushroom? And I was unaware of the magic mushrooms, but that might be the reason why other people saw Frosty come to life. Cindy D is right. Sears did buy Kmart, and but it was heading in the wrong direction even before Sears bought it. All right. And Al Oduwardi says, back in the 70s, the magic pipe brought me to. Well, never mind. And before we get to the answer, we'll share one more comment. This one's from John Collins, who says, I remember getting my foster mother an autograph book from Oliver North, and she was shocked that I even went to the mall to get it or even knew who he was. Thanks for sharing that memory, John. The correct answer is a magic hat. I think most of you got it right. I'll check scores when we get through 3 questions. Next question is, in the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, how many reindeer pull Santa's sleigh? All right. Is it 7? Is it 8? Is it 9? Or is it 10? Take a break. Let everybody lock their answers in their noggins. Think about it. I'm just kind of enjoying sitting here in silence. It's not a bad thing sometimes. All right, let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is 9. So you have the 8 original reindeer that are named in The Night Before Christmas plus Rudolph. Question number 3. What word is used instead of family in the song We Wish You a Merry Christmas? What word is used instead of family in the song We Wish You a Merry Christmas? Is it clan, group, kin, or loved ones? All right, we'll let folks lock in their answers. I'm going to look at the chat here for a second. Yeah. Kimberly got it right. 9 if you count Rudolph. Absolutely. 9 is the correct answer. Spike says it used to be 8, but due to the new union rules, it now takes 27. Yeah, that was a little tricky question. You had to count Rudolph. All right. So again, what word is used instead of family in the song We Wish You a Merry Christmas? And I think we got everybody's answers in. Correct answer is kin. All right. I think we're 3 questions in. Let's see some scores, folks. Let's see some scores. Let's see how folks are doing. Okay. I'm not seeing anybody post their score yet. Come on. Put your score in there for me so I can take a peek. This may be one of those cases where the scores are in over on YouTube and I just can't see them because they haven't transitioned on over to StreamYard yet. Here's some scores. Marianne is 2 out of 3. Rob Aikens, 3 out of 3. McGannahan Sky Jellyfetti, there you are, is 1 out of 3. Mike D, it's 2 out of 3, got tripped up on the Rudolph question. Todd McCreary, hey, welcome to the stream, Todd, is 2 out of 3. And are there any more scores? Georgia Ayers is 2 out of 3. Spike says he knew them, but chose the ridiculous answers. Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to do that. John Collins is 2 out of 3. Cindy D's 3 for 3. And Lisa Fields is 3 of 3 so far. And Kimberly Wiederhold is 3 of 3 as well. All right. And Tom is 2 of 3. All right. Let's keep moving. What band sang about Santa's sleigh as if it were a hot rod? Was it the Allman Brothers, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, or the Rolling Stones? What band sang about Santa's sleigh as if it were a hot rod? The Allman Brothers, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, or the Rolling Stones? I won't tell you the name of the song because that would probably give it away. Lock in your answers. We're going to give you, I'm going to go with the share the correct answer in about 5 seconds. All right. 5, 4. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. 3, 2, and 1. Correct answer is, a lot of you folks guessed correctly. It was the Beach Boys. The song was called The Little Saint Nick. All right, next one. Next question. Question number 5. After the Beatles broke up, Paul McCartney released which of these holiday songs? Jingle Bell Rock, Merry Christmas, White Christmas, or Wonderful Christmas Time? Again, after the Beatles broke up, Paul McCartney released which of these holiday songs? Jingle Bell Rock, Merry Christmas, White Christmas, or Wonderful Christmas Time? All right, we'll give folks about 5 seconds more. Now, a hint I will give everybody is I believe this was already shared in the chat earlier on if you were paying attention to various comments and conversations. It's a fun Christmas song. And the correct answer is Wonderful Christmas Time. All right, we've done 5. Let's see some scores again, folks. You willing to put your score into the chat? I am willing to share it with everyone. Let's see how folks are doing. Who's still perfect? That's what I want to know. Who's got 5 of 5? Mike D is 4 of 5. Who else is willing to share their score? Very good score so far, Mike D. Mary Ann's 4 of 5 as well. Rob Aiken is rocking it with a perfect score, 5 of 5. McGanahan Sky Jellyfetty's 3 of 5. You can't be 4 of 6 yet, Georgia. You're probably 4 of 5. Spike is 4.7 out of 5. It's good when you get to that level of specificity. Lisa Fields is 5 of 5. Kimberly Wiederholt's 5 of 5. Al Oduwardi's 5 of 5. John Collins is 4 of 5. George is 4 of 5. And Cindy D is 5, 4, 5. Rob Aiken says he was known as Mr. Perfect in high school. What a name to have. What a name to have in high school. I'm not sharing my nickname in high school with you guys. It wasn't Mr. Perfect. Trust me on that one. All right, question number 6. In what language was Silent Night originally written? Was it written in English, German, Korean, or Spanish? Again, what language was the song Silent Night originally written? English, German, Korean, or Spanish? One of my favorite songs, by the way. Great song. And just, I talked about how Christmas music kind of puts the mind at ease and creates a sense of peacefulness and calm. This is one of those songs that does that. All right, back to trivia here. The correct answer is Klingon, according to Spike Spikerson. Well, I wish I'd thought to put that in there. That would have been funny. Okay, the correct answer is German. Most of you got it right. Good job to those folks that correctly guessed German. Moving on to question number 7. Jingle Bells was originally written for what holiday? Was it Christmas time, Easter, New Year's Day, or Thanksgiving? Take another swig while you guys think about that. Being a big Batman fan, I'd always get mad in elementary school when kids would sing that whole Jingle Bells Batman Smells song. That made me mad. Made me so mad. All right, again, the question is, Jingle Bells was originally written for what holiday? Christmas, Easter, New Year's Day, or Thanksgiving? And the correct answer is Thanksgiving. Good job to all of you that got that correct. Okay, let's keep moving. Question 8, and then we'll get scores. What TV and movie cowboy is best known for singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Was it Gene Autry, James Arness, John Wayne, or Roy Rogers? Again, what TV and movie cowboy is best known for singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Gene Autry, James Arness, John Wayne, or Roy Rogers? Lock in your answers, folks. Lock in your answers. Here's a great Thanksgiving quote. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. I'll probably do another video about that before Thanksgiving actually hits. One of my favorite episodes, if not my favorite episode of WKRP in Cincinnati. All right, folks are locking in their answers. Stop it. Stop it right now, Tom. Oh, that song would just get my goat. Okay, correct answer is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gene Autry. I think most of you got it correctly. Good job. Good job. And let's see. Where are we at? Question 9. How about some scores real quick? Scores, folks. Who's still perfect? Or, I think at this point a 7 of 8 is a great score. Well, even 6 of 8 is a solid score. But I have a feeling that some of you are still perfect. Some of you are still 8 of 8 going into the final 2 questions. Let's see the scores. Al Oduardi is 8 of 8. Marianne is 8 of 8. Rob Aiken is 8 of 8. Todd McCreary is 7 of 8. Mike D is 7 of 8. McGanahan Sky Jellyfetti is 4 of 7. Let's see. Cindy D's 8 for 8 on guesses. You are a great guesser, Cindy D. Kimberly Wiederhold is 7 of 8. Darn it all, Kimberly. Still a great score. Still a great score. Do we have any more scores? Did I say George's? I think I did. 7 of 8. McGanahan's 5 of 8. Let's see. And Spike Spikerson just down by a 0.06. So doing pretty good. John Collins is 7 of 8. And yeah, Cindy D is a great guesser. Tom is 6 of 8. All great scores this evening. I think I made the last one I think I made these last couple pretty difficult. We'll see. Might be wrong. Let's keep them moving. Why didn't Irving Berlin, the composer of White Christmas, celebrate the holiday? 1, because he was Jewish. 2, because he was a Jehovah's Witness. 3, he was a Mormon. Or 4, his mother died on that day. Again, the question is, why didn't Irving Berlin, the composer of White Christmas, celebrate the holiday? Your choices are, he was Jewish, he was a Jehovah's Witness, he was a Mormon, or his mother died on that day. All right, I'm going to let everybody lock their answers in. One of the all-time great holiday songs. I believe it was written while Irving was looking out his window at a sunny California view. He was indeed dreaming of a white Christmas. Okay, and the correct answer is he was Jewish. Yes, Irving Berlin was Jewish, so he did not celebrate he celebrated Hanukkah, is what he did. So he probably did celebrate the holidays. He just did not celebrate Christmas per se. Yeah, Al. Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was Let It Snow. I thought it was White Christmas, but could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong before, Al. So thank you for that. All right. And let's go to the very final question. Question number 10. I know some of you are still perfect. 9 out of 9. Let's see if we can make it a perfect evening with trivia. I love it when we have an evening where we have a bunch of folks get all the questions. Oh, yeah, I love that Waitresses song, too. Great song. I'm kind of a fan of the Waitresses. They didn't have that many hits, but the songs that did get played on the radio, I really enjoyed. Okay, question 10 is this. Silver Bells was introduced in what classic Bob Hope movie? Was it It's a Wonderful Life, The Lemon Drop Kid, My Favorite Brunette, or Road to Zanzibar? Again, Silver Bells was introduced in what classic Bob Hope movie? It's a Wonderful Life, Lemon Drop Kid, My Favorite Brunette, or Road to Zanzibar? This one might be the one where it gets a bunch of people. We'll see. I'm going to give folks about, I don't know, another 10 seconds or so. Take a little swig here of my delightful Diet Coke beverage. Let you guys ruminate. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the correct answer to this question, Silver Bells was introduced in what classic Bob Hope movie? It was The Lemon Drop Kid. Lemon Drop Kid was filmed in 1950, and the song was written for the movie, I believe, or at least incorporated in the movie while they were filming it. It was sung by William Frawley, who you guys might know from I Love Lucy. It's Fred Mertz. But then as he's singing it, it's transitioned Bob Hope and Marilyn, I can't remember her name, who he stars with in that movie, but a really wonderful version. Now, the version that charted later on was the Bing Crosby version. Bing Crosby re-recorded it. But great song from a fun movie, The Lemon Drop Kid. If you haven't seen Lemon Drop Kid, I highly recommend it. All right, so let's see how folks did. Final scores are Marianne Lockwood, 9 out of 10. Al Odawardi, 9 out of 10. Let's see. Yeah, the last two were hard, Cindy. Todd McCreary was 8 out of 10. Mike D was 8 out of 10. Georgia Ayers, 9 out of 10. McGinnihan, Skyjella Fetty, 6 out of 10. Did anybody get a perfect score, or did I totally blow it for you guys with the final question there and made it tough? Looking for some final score. Spike Spikerson was 8.04 out of 10. Decent. Cindy D was 8 for 10. Can't tell if Tom got that last one right or not. Hey there, look at that. There's a perfect score. Rob Aiken in the house, coming in with 10 out of 10. Nicely done, even if two were guesses. Once you guess them right, those are correct answers. Kimberly Wiederhold was 8 out of 10. Sorry about that, Kimberly. You still did great. That's a phenomenal score. Marianne says the last one got her. And Spike, I killed you with the last one. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made that last one so tough. It's a favorite movie of mine. I suppose that I thought more of you would know the answer to that one. Let's see. John Collins was 8 out of 10, and Tom was 7 out of 10. So still really great scores, everybody. You did a wonderful job. You represented well. You definitely know your holiday music. All right, folks, we are coming up on the top of the hour. And as always, it has been so much fun. You're right, Cindy. No one can say trivia was easy tonight. I get that sometimes from you guys. The trivia was too easy. Well, it wasn't tonight. But I lulled you into a sense of self-confidence or overconfidence by easy questions up front and then zinging you at the end with those toughies. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me for the live stream tonight. Thank you for, like I said, making that long journey, picking up your stuff and going over from the Dave Sundstrom channel and heading over to Retro Music Memories and joining me for the live stream this evening over here. It's been fun. It's been great. Those of you that made it over here, just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Can't tell you how excited I am to go back and watch the live stream over again. Not so I can listen to me yammer on, but instead so I can go back and review the chat and catch every comment. Even with only 15 to 20 of you here in the chat, it's still hard to keep track of everything that's being said while I'm clicking on things and talking to the screen. So I'll do that later on. But thank you all so much for joining me. And I hope you all have really just a great remainder of the rest of the week. Hope it's a good one for all of you. And have a good night, folks. Thanks again for joining me here this evening.